The drill bit screamed against stone, sending vibrations up my arms and through my whole body. Most miners hated that feeling, the constant rattling that made your bones ache. Me, I felt something else entirely. Through the tremors, I could sense the composition of the rock, where it was dense, where pockets of air waited to collapse, where veins of copper threaded through like frozen lightning. I pulled back the drill and ran my bare hand across the rough surface. The gray skin of my palm, marked with those dark veins that everyone loved to stare at, picked up information the equipment couldn't. 3 meters ahead, there was something unusual, not copper or iron, something that made my fingertips tingle. Rune, you daydreaming again. I turned to see Keble stomping toward me, his face creased with its permanent scowl. Dust covered him head to toe, making his mining gear look ancient. The man never stopped working, never took the easy route of just managing from an office somewhere clean. No, sir, I said, keeping my voice level. I found something. Different mineral signature about 3 meters in. Different how? His eyes narrowed with suspicion. They always did when I talked about sensing minerals. He tolerated my abilities because I found good deposits, but I knew what he really thought. His son had dated an elemental once. It ended badly. Now Keble saw all of us as the same, untrustworthy, cold other. Except I was only half elemental, which somehow made it worse in his eyes. Can't tell yet, I admitted, but it's not standard ore. Keble grunted, which was about as close to approval as he ever got with me. Fine, investigate but careful. Last thing I need is a cave-in because you got curious. He jabbed a thick finger at my chest. Safety first always. I don't care what you are. You get hurt on my watch, it's my problem. I nodded. Say what you want about Keble, but he meant that part. He was a hard boss, demanded perfection, but he never let anyone take stupid risks. 3 years working for him, and I'd seen him shut down profitable tunnels because they weren't safe enough. Understood. He walked away, barking orders at other miners. I returned to the rock wall, placing both palms against it now. I closed my orange eyes and concentrated, feeling deeper. The vibrations told me stories, where the stone was old, where it was new, where pressure built up in dangerous ways. The strange signature pulsed 3 meters in, slightly down. It felt warm somehow, though that made no sense. Minerals didn't have temperature signatures I could sense, not like this. I grabbed my drill again and started cutting a careful path. Around me, other miners worked their own sections. Most ignored me. A few shot looks when they thought I wasn't paying attention. The gray skin and orange hair made me stand out. The visible veins that looked like gravel flowing under my skin made me look alien. 3 years of this. 3 years since my parents decided that having a half-breed son was too embarrassing for their pure elemental family. I thought we were happy. I thought they loved me. Then, on my 12th birthday, they sat me down and explained that I needed to learn independence, that I'd be better off on my own. They'd given me enough credits for 2 months, rent on a tiny flat, and sent me away. I shook off the memory. No point dwelling on it. I had my own place now, earned with my own work. I survived. That was enough. Wasn't it? Well, well, if it isn't my dear cousin, playing in the dirt where he belongs. I didn't need to turn around to know who'd arrived. Alex Volt had a voice that dripped with smugness like honey from a jar. I finished my current drill line before facing him. He stood at the tunnel entrance in his pristine white suit, not a speck of dust daring to land on him. Tall, confident, everything an earth elemental was supposed to be. His family owned refineries across 3 planets. What he was doing in a working mine, I couldn't guess. Alex, I said flatly, you lost. Hardly. He stepped closer, careful to avoid any dirt. Father sent me to inspect the operation. We're considering investing in Kebble's little company. His dark eyes swept over me with obvious disdain. Though if I'd known he hired half-breeds for actual mining work, I might have advised against it. Surely there are simpler jobs for your limited abilities. Several miners nearby had stopped working to watch. Some looked uncomfortable, others seemed entertained. I could feel anger building in my chest, hot and sharp. It would be so easy to respond, to show him exactly what my abilities could do. I could grow crystal formations across my arms right now, razor-sharp edges that would wipe that smug expression away. But that was my secret. The one thing my parents never knew I could do because it developed after they abandoned me. The one advantage I had. So instead I smiled. Not big, just enough. Thanks for the concern, cousin, but I'm doing fine. His jaw tightened. That was the thing about Alex. He wanted me to break, to give up, to prove that his family was right to look down on mixed bloods. My refusal to crumble ate at him. "Whatever you say," he sneered. "Enjoy your rocks, Asmund. Some of us have actual futures to build." He left, his white shoes somehow still spotless. The miners went back to work and I returned to my drilling, but my hands were shaking slightly. 3 years and it still got to me. Not Alex specifically. He was just one more voice in a chorus that had been singing the same song since I was 12. Half-breed, impure, less than. I thought about Jamie sometimes, wondered if she faced the same garbage in the mercenary corps. She'd been the first person to help me after my parents kicked me out, gave me advice on finding work, showed me which food stations had the cheapest meals. Then she'd left to chase her own dreams among the stars. I was happy for her, really, but some days the flat felt very empty. The drill broke through into empty space, jolting me from my thoughts. I pulled back quickly, checking for gas pockets or instability. Nothing dangerous registered, just a small cavity in the rock. I grabbed my light and peered through the hole. The beam illuminated a space about the size of a closet. And there, growing from the floor like a frozen tree, was the crystal. It stood nearly a meter tall, multifaceted and unlike anything I'd seen before. Colors swirled inside it, deep blues, bright greens, flashes of gold. But what made my breath catch was the feeling coming from it. It called to me. Not literally, not with words, but every elemental sense in my body suddenly focused on that crystal like it was the most important thing in the universe. My veins, those dark gray channels visible beneath my skin, began to glow faintly. I'd never seen them do that before. I should have called Kebble, should have reported the find and let the company handle it properly. Instead, I widened the hole with my hands, my fingers passing through solid rock like it was water. That was the other thing I could do when I held my breath, phase through stone as if I were a ghost. Useful for mining, even if it left me dizzy afterward. I squeezed through into the cavity, my boots finding solid ground on the other side. Up close, the crystal was even more impressive. Patterns etched its surface, symbols I didn't recognize but that felt somehow familiar. Ancient writing maybe, from before the colony was established. I reached out slowly, my gray hand hovering inches from the surface. Energy radiated from it, making my skin tingle. Every instinct screamed at me to touch it, to make contact. So I did. The world exploded into light and sensation. Energy rushed through me like a flood, filling every cell, every vein, every particle of my being. I saw flashes of things I didn't understand. Vast star maps, ancient elementals who looked like living mountains, technology that blended crystal and starlight, and at the center of it all, a purpose, a calling. The crystal recognized me, not as half-breed or impure or less than, as exactly what was needed. Then the vision faded and I was standing in the cavity again, gasping for air. The crystal had dimmed slightly, but my hand was still pressed against it. And when I pulled away, something had changed. A mark had appeared on my palm, glowing faintly, the same symbols that decorated the crystal's surface. "What did you do to me?" I whispered. The crystal pulsed once, as if answering. Footsteps echoed from the tunnel, heavy ones. Keble, probably coming to check on my progress. I looked at the crystal, then at my marked hand, then back at the hole I'd come through. I could report this, let the company decide what to do with it, follow the rules, keep my head down, stay safe. Or I could hide it, this strange, impossible thing that had chosen me for reasons I didn't understand. The footsteps grew closer. I had seconds to decide. The footsteps stopped just outside the cavity. I made my decision in a heartbeat. "Sir, in here," I called out, pulling my hand away from the crystal. The mark on my palm still glowed faintly, so I clenched my fist, hiding it. Keble's grizzled face appeared in the opening I'd made. His eyes went wide when he saw the crystal, probably the first time I'd ever seen him look surprised. "What in the galaxy?" He squeezed through the hole with some difficulty, his broad shoulders scraping against the rock. Once inside, he circled the crystal slowly, keeping his distance. "You touch it." I hesitated. Lying to Keble felt wrong, even if the truth might get me in trouble. "Yes, sir, just once, to see if it was stable. And it's solid, not radioactive or hot, seems safe enough." All true, even if I left out the part about the visions and the mark burning on my palm. Keble nodded slowly, scratching his dust-covered chin. "This is way above my pay grade. We need to call in specialists." He looked at me hard. "You feeling all right? No dizziness, no strange sensations?" "I'm fine," I said, also true technically. I felt different, charged somehow, but not sick. "Good, come on, let's get back to the main tunnel. I'm sealing this cavity until we figure out what we're dealing with." He started toward the opening, then paused. "You did the right thing, Rune. Calling me instead of trying to handle this alone. Shows good judgment." The compliment caught me off guard. In 3 years, I could count on one hand the number of times Keble had praised me. We emerged back into the tunnel, and he immediately got on his communicator, barking orders. Within minutes, the whole section was evacuated. Keble posted guards at the entrance while we waited for the specialists to arrive. I stood off to the side, watching the activity. My palm itched terribly, and when I snuck a glance, the mark was still there, glowing beneath my gray skin. What had the crystal done to me? And why did it feel like something inside me had woken up? Well, causing trouble again, cousin. I turned to find Alex had returned, his white suit somehow still spotless despite the dusty mine. He must have heard the commotion. "Found something unusual in my section," I said carefully. "Company protocol is to report it." "How responsible of you." His tone dripped with sarcasm, but I caught the gleam of interest in his eyes. "What kind of unusual?" "Mineral deposit, above my clearance level to discuss." That was clearly the wrong thing to say because Alex's expression sharpened. He glanced toward the guarded tunnel, then back at me. "A deposit that requires armed guards and a full section evacuation. My, that must be quite the find." I said nothing, which only seemed to fuel his curiosity. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Does it have anything to do with those?" He nodded toward my clenched fists. My blood went cold. Could he see the glow through my fingers? "I don't know what you mean," I said. "Your hands have been clenched since I arrived, and there's a faint light. He reached toward my right hand. I stepped back quickly. Don't. Alex's smile was pure satisfaction. Interesting, very interesting indeed. He turned and walked away, already pulling out his personal communicator. I cursed under my breath. That had gone badly. Alex wouldn't let this go, and his family had resources I couldn't begin to match. The specialists arrived an hour later, a team of geologists and security personnel in matching gray uniforms. They disappeared into the sealed section while the rest of us waited. Keble paced like a caged animal, clearly frustrated at being shut out of his own mind. Finally, after what felt like forever, the team leader emerged. She was a tall woman with sharp features and sharper eyes. Those eyes found me immediately. Esmond Rune, she called out. Yes, ma'am. I need you to come with me. We have questions about your discovery. Keble stepped forward. He's my employee. Anything you need to know, you can ask with me present. The woman's expression didn't change. Mr. Keble, this matter involves potential ancient technology. The Planetary Council has jurisdiction. Your cooperation is appreciated but not required. For a moment, I thought Keble might argue. Instead, he looked at me and gave a slight nod. Answer their questions truthfully, Rune. You've got nothing to hide. I followed the woman and two security guards into a hastily set up interview room. Really just a storage area with a table and chairs. They asked me everything. How I found the crystal, what I felt, what I saw, whether I touched it. I told them most of the truth. The sensing through the rock, the decision to investigate, the moment of contact. I described the energy surge and mentioned seeing strange symbols. What I didn't mention was the mark on my palm, which I kept hidden throughout the interview, or the feeling that the crystal had recognized something in me, or the vision of ancient elementals and cosmic purpose. Call it instinct, call it paranoia, but something told me to keep those parts to myself. After 2 hours of questions, they finally let me go. Don't leave the colony, the woman said. We may have follow-up questions. I walked out to find the day's shift had ended. Most miners had already left, but Keble was still there, leaning against a support beam. They give you trouble, he asked. Just questions, lots of questions. Yeah, that's how these things go. Government types love their paperwork. He pushed off the beam, studying me. You sure you're feeling all right? You look pale. Well, paler than usual. I'm fine, just tired. Go home, get rest. Don't come in tomorrow. I'm giving you the day off while they sort this mess out. I blinked, sir. You found something big, Rune. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know yet, but either way, you need time to process. Take the day. Paid. He walked away before I could respond, calling back over his shoulder. And kid, stay out of trouble. The walk back to my flat felt longer than usual. I kept catching glimpses of people who seemed too interested in me. A woman reading a data pad who looked up as I passed. A man in a long coat standing in an alley watching. Probably just paranoia, but my nerves were shot. My flat was exactly as I'd left it. Small, cramped, but mine. I locked the door behind me and finally opened my right hand. The mark blazed bright in the dim light. The symbols formed a circular pattern, beautiful and alien. As I stared at it, I could almost feel the crystal calling to me from deep in the mine, like a vibration in my bones. I tried washing it off, scrubbing it. Nothing worked. The mark wasn't on my skin, it was in it, part of me now. What did I get myself into? I muttered. A knock at the door made me jump. I quickly closed my fist again and checked the security screen. A young woman stood outside, but the angle made it hard to see her face clearly. She didn't look like security or government. "Who is it?" I called through the door. "Someone who knows what you found," she replied. Her voice was clear, confident, "and someone who can help you understand what it means." "I don't need help, please leave. The mark on your palm says otherwise." My heart hammered. How could she possibly know about that? "Look," she continued, "I know you're scared. I know nothing makes sense right now. But that crystal you touched, it's not just some geological oddity. It's a key, and it chose you for a reason. The question is whether you'll hide from that or face it." I stood frozen, hand on the door lock. Every logical part of my brain screamed not to open it, not to trust a stranger who somehow knew impossible things. But another part of me, the part that had been touched by the crystal's vision, needed answers. I opened the door. The young woman who entered was unlike anyone I'd seen in the colony. Ice blue scales traced patterns along her exposed arms and collarbone. White hair fell past her shoulders, and her blue eyes seemed to glow slightly in the dim light. Two wings, folded against her back, were barely visible beneath a dark jacket. "A space dragon here, in my flat." "Hello, Asmund," she said, smiling softly. "My name is Shiva, and we need to talk about what you've awakened." She walked past me like she owned the place, moving to the small window and checking the street below. "Good. They haven't followed you yet. We have maybe an hour before word spreads further." "Before what spreads, who are you?" "I told you, my name is Shiva. As for who I am," she turned to face me fully. "Let's just say my family takes a special interest in ancient elemental technology, especially the kind that was buried and forgotten for good reason." "The crystal." "The key," she corrected. "One of 7, scattered across the Kyber galaxy centuries ago. Each one holds part of a greater technology, a power that pure elementals and humans both wanted to control. So much that they nearly destroyed each other fighting over it." I sat down heavily on my worn couch. "That's impossible. Nothing like that is in any history files." "Because it was erased, buried, made into myth and legend so future generations wouldn't make the same mistakes." She sat across from me, her expression serious. "But the keys still exist, and now one has activated. That means others will come looking for it. Others who won't care about protocols or questions." "Then they can have it," I said. "I reported the crystal. It's not my problem anymore." "Show me your hand." I hesitated, then slowly unclenched my fist. The mark pulsed with light. Shiva leaned forward, studying it carefully. "Just as I feared. The key has marked you as its bearer. It's bonded to you now, Asmund. Whether you want it or not, this is your problem." "Why me? I just work in the mines. I'm nobody." "Are you?" Her blue eyes met mine. "You're half human, half elemental. The keys were designed to respond to balance, to those who exist between the two extremes. Pure elementals and pure humans couldn't activate them. They tried. That's why they were hidden. They were waiting for someone like you." The implications of that crashed over me like a wave. All my life, being mixed blood had been treated as a flaw, something shameful. Now this stranger was telling me it made me special, chosen. "I don't believe you." "You don't have to believe me, but you'll see soon enough. Your cousin Alex has already contacted his family about your discovery. By tomorrow, they'll have mobilized resources to claim it. And when they realize the key has bonded to you," she left the sentence unfinished. I thought about Alex's interest in my clenched fists, his satisfied smile. Of course he'd reported it. That was exactly the kind of thing he'd do. "So what am I supposed to do?" I asked. "That's your choice. You can stay here, keep your head down, hope they leave you alone. Or you can find out what the key wants to show you, what purpose it saw in you." Shiva stood, moving toward the door. Think about it, but don't think too long. Things are going to move fast now." She paused at the door, looking back. "For what it's worth, I hope you choose to trust yourself. The key doesn't make mistakes." Then she was gone, leaving me alone with my glowing palm and 100 questions I couldn't answer. I tried to sleep but couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the crystal's vision. Those ancient elementals, the star maps, the sense of purpose that had flooded through me. The key doesn't make mistakes. But I made them all the time. I was just a miner, trying to survive, trying to build a simple life after my family threw me away. I wasn't special. I wasn't chosen for anything except rejection. Was I? The mark pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat, like it was trying to tell me something. I pulled out my data pad and started searching for information about ancient elemental technology, about keys, about anything that might explain this. Most results were myths and legends, stories parents told children. But buried in an obscure history forum, I found a single entry. The 7 keys of harmony were said to unlock the potential in those who carried both earth and star in their blood. But the war to control them nearly ended all civilization. Now they sleep, waiting for one who can unite what was divided. I read it 3 times. My communicator buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "They're coming for you tomorrow. You need to decide what matters more, safety or truth. Choose wisely. S." I looked at my marked palm, then at the simple flat I'd worked 3 years to afford. The life I'd built brick by brick, credit by credit. I thought about what Shiva had said, what the crystal had shown me, what the mark represented. And I realized that no matter what I chose, nothing would ever be the same again. I spent the night sorting through 3 years of my life, trying to figure out what mattered enough to carry. Not much, as it turned out. I packed my work bag with spare clothes, some food bars, my credit chip, and the few tools I owned. I downloaded my mining certifications onto a secure data stick. If I ever got the chance to start over somewhere, I'd need proof of my skills. Everything else, the cheap furniture, the worn dishes, the mining posters I'd hung to make the place feel less empty, I left behind. The hardest part was the photo, just one taken 4 years ago. Me, Jamie, and some other kids from the lower district, all smiling at a street festival, back when life felt simpler. I stared at Jamie's face, wondering where she was now, whether she'd even recognize the person I was becoming. I tucked the photo into my jacket pocket, right over my heart. By the time the colony's artificial dawn cycle began, I was ready, or as ready as someone could be when throwing away everything they'd built. I kept checking the mark on my palm, half hoping it had faded during the night. It hadn't. If anything, it glowed brighter. My communicator buzzed at 600, unknown number again. "Don't use the main exit. Service tunnel 7, lower maintenance level, 10 minutes. S." I grabbed my bag and took one last look at the flat. 3 years ago, getting this place had felt like a victory. Proof that I could survive on my own, that I didn't need the family who'd rejected me. Now I was walking away from it, chasing after visions and ancient keys and a purpose I didn't understand. The hallway was empty at this hour. Most people in my building worked later shifts. I took the back stairs down, avoiding the main elevator with its security cameras. My boots made soft sounds on the metal steps, and I tried to memorize everything. The rust stains on the walls, the flickering light on the 3rd floor, the smell of recycled air and cooking fuel. I reached the lower maintenance level without incident. Service Tunnel 7 was a cramped passage used by repair crews, barely tall enough for me to stand straight. I'd been down here a few times fixing plumbing issues for neighbors who couldn't afford proper maintenance. Shiva stepped out from the shadows like she'd been part of them. She traded her jacket for something more practical, dark clothing that didn't catch light, a pack slung over her shoulder. Her wings were folded tight against her back. "Good you came." She looked relieved. "We need to move. Your cousin arrived at the mine an hour ago with security personnel. They'll be at your flat within minutes." "How do you know all this?" "My family has resources. Now come on. There's a transport waiting at the edge of the colony." We moved quickly through the maintenance tunnels. I followed Shiva's lead, trusting that she knew where she was going. The mark on my palm started warming, a gentle heat that pulsed in rhythm with my heartbeat. "The key is reacting," Shiva said without looking back. "It knows you're moving toward your purpose." "Or it's just broken," I muttered. Malfunctioning ancient technology seems more likely than cosmic destiny. She glanced over her shoulder and I caught the hint of a smile. "You're allowed to be scared, you know. This is big. Scary is normal." "I'm not scared, I'm practical." "Sure you are." We emerged into the early morning light at the colony's industrial edge, where cargo transports came and went. A small hover vehicle waited behind a stack of shipping containers, engine already running. Shiva moved toward it, but I stopped. "Wait, I need to. There's someone I should tell. Keble. He gave me a job when no one else would. I can't just disappear." "Usman, we don't have time." "I know, but I owe him that much." Shiva studied me for a long moment, then sighed. "Make it quick. 5 minutes, I'll keep watch." I pulled out my communicator and composed a message to Keble. "What do you say to someone when you're vanishing? Thanks for everything. Sorry for the trouble. Good luck with the mine." Before I could finish, my communicator rang. Keble's ID flashed on the screen. I answered, "Sir, I can explain." "Shut up and listen, Rune." His voice was hard but not angry. Alex showed up with a whole team demanding access to the crystal chamber. Government specialists are fighting with him about jurisdiction. It's a mess. But more important, they're looking for you, officially. Warrant and everything. My stomach dropped. A warrant for what? Theft of valuable planetary resources. Complete nonsense, but it gives them legal cover to grab you. Your cousin is behind it. I'd bet my mine on that. I didn't steal anything. I reported it according to protocol. I know that, you know that. But Alex's family has lawyers and money and connections. They'll make it stick long enough to get what they want from you. He paused. Where are you, kid? I hesitated. Could I trust him? He'd been fair to me, but he also had that bias against elementals. And I was running from powerful people who could make his life difficult. I'm leaving the colony just for a while, until this settles down. Smart. Listen to me, Rune. I know I've been hard on you. I know you've seen my bias against elementals, and you want to know why. His voice got quieter. My son, Marcus. He fell in love with a pure elemental girl 5 years back. Thought she loved him too. But her family found out she was involved with a human, and they made her break it off. Made her tell him he wasn't good enough. Marcus hasn't been the same since. I didn't know what to say. In 3 years, Keble had never mentioned this. I blamed all elementals for what her family did, lumped you all together. But watching you these past years, watching you work hard, stay honest, build a life from nothing, made me realize how wrong I was. You're not your blood, Rune. You're your choices, and you've made good ones. My throat felt tight. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me yet. I'm at the mine now. I can buy you maybe 30 minutes before they realize you're not at your flat. After that, they'll lock down the colony. You understand? Yes, sir. One more thing. That crystal or key or whatever it is, those government specialists tried to move it. Couldn't, tried to scan it. Devices went haywire, tried to have a pure elemental interface with it. Nothing. Thing only reacted when you touched it, Rune. Only you. Whatever that means, it's important. Don't let them use you or that power for their own ends. The mark on my palm burned brighter. I won't, I promise. Good kid, now get out of here. And Rune, when this settles down, you've got a job waiting, that's a promise. The call ended. I stood there for a moment processing everything. Kebal's story about his son, his apology, his help, the crystal responding only to me. Shiva appeared at my side. We need to go, now. I just spotted security transports heading this way. We ran for the hover vehicle. I threw my bag in and climbed into the passenger seat while Shiva took the controls. The engine hummed as we lifted off, skimming low between the industrial buildings. Your boss, Shiva asked. He bought us time and told me something important. The crystal only responds to me, not to pure elementals, not to humans, just me. Shiva nodded like this confirmed something she already suspected. That's what I meant when I said the keys were designed for balance. Your mixed blood isn't a flaw, a smun. It's exactly what makes you compatible. We cleared the colony's edge and accelerated into the rocky wasteland beyond. I looked back and saw security transports rising from the mining complex, searching. But we were already disappearing into the maze of canyons and rock formations that covered this part of Hellion. Where are we going? I asked. Somewhere safe. Somewhere I can show you what the key really means and what you're capable of. Shiva glanced at me. There's an old research station in the northern Badlands, abandoned for decades, but the equipment still works. We can use it to study the mark, to understand what the key wants you to find. And after that you decide what comes next, whether you want to claim this purpose the key sees in you or find some way to pass it on to someone else. She paused. Though I don't think passing it on is possible, it chose you specifically. I watched the colony shrink behind us, everything I'd built for 3 years getting smaller and smaller. Part of me wanted to tell Shiva to turn around, to face whatever came and try to clear my name. But a larger part, the part touched by the crystal's vision, knew there was no going back. Not now. The mark pulsed warmly against my palm, almost like reassurance, or maybe like a promise. What do you know about the other keys? I asked. You said there were 7. Shiva's expression grew serious. The other keys are still lost as far as anyone knows, but if one has awakened, if one has found its bearer, the others might start waking too. And that means other people like you, people with mixed heritage, people who have been overlooked or rejected, they might suddenly become very important, very sought after. People like me, I said quietly. People the pure elementals and humans both look down on. Exactly. The galaxy might not be ready for that truth. Some will fight it, but others, she smiled slightly. Others might finally see that being different isn't being less. We drove in silence for a while, the hover vehicle kicking up dust as we navigated the Badlands. The landscape was harsh out here, jagged rocks, deep crevices, heat shimmer on the horizon, but also beautiful in its own way, raw and real. Kind of like how I felt right now, stripped down to essentials, uncertain about everything, but somehow more alive than I'd been in years. Shiva, I said, thank you for warning me, for helping me. You didn't have to. She kept her eyes on the terrain ahead, but I saw color rise in her cheeks. Someone has to stand up for what's right. Might as well be me. She glanced my way. Besides, I have a feeling you're going to do something important. I want to see what that is. Ahead, the research station came into view. A cluster of buildings built into the side of a canyon, solar panels glinting in the morning sun. remote, defensible, and exactly the kind of place where we might find some answers. I touched the mark on my palm, feeling its steady pulse. Whatever came next, whatever purpose the key had seen in me, I was about to find out. And maybe, just maybe, I'd finally understand why being half of two worlds made me whole in a way pure blood never could. The research station was bigger than it looked from outside. Shiva led me through corridors lined with dormant equipment, our footsteps echoing off metal walls. Dust covered everything, but the solar panels outside were still feeding power to the core systems. My family used to fund research here, Shiva explained as she activated a console. Lights flickered on throughout the facility. Back when they actually cared about understanding elemental human cooperation instead of just maintaining power. I set my bag down in what looked like a common area. Through the windows, I could see the canyon walls rising around us, natural protection. How long since anyone was here? 10 years, maybe more. She pulled up data on multiple screens. But the scanning equipment should still work. We can analyze that mark, see what it's really doing to you. The mark pulsed as if responding to her words. I pulled off my glove and held my palm up to the light. The symbol was brighter now, more defined. Thin lines of the same glow had started spreading up my wrist like circuit patterns. "It's growing," I said. Shiva came closer, studying the pattern with fascination rather than fear. "Not growing, integrating. The key is bonding more deeply with you. Come on, the medical scanner is this way." The lab was surprisingly intact. Shiva powered up a scanning platform and gestured for me to place my hand on it. When I did, the machines hummed to life, projecting holographic data into the air above us. "This is incredible," Shiva breathed, manipulating the display. "The mark isn't just on your skin, it's woven into your cellular structure. It's reading your DNA, both human and elemental, and using that as a template." "A template for what?" "For unlocking potential." She pulled up another screen. "Every elemental has inherent abilities based on their pure bloodline, but you're different. Your mixed blood creates possibilities that pure elementals can't access. The key is designed to amplify that." I stared at the data, trying to make sense of the genetic charts and energy readings. "You're saying it's changing me." "I'm saying it's revealing what you already were, what you could always do if you'd been taught properly instead of abandoned." The bitterness in her voice surprised me. I'd assumed someone like her, dragon princess, powerful family, wouldn't understand rejection. But maybe she knew more about being trapped by expectations than I'd thought. "So how do we figure out what I can do?" I asked. Shiva smiled. "We experiment." She set up a series of tests in a reinforced chamber designed for elemental training. First, we confirmed what I already knew. I could sense minerals through rock, feel vibrations, pass through stone when holding my breath. Then she pushed further. "Your file says you can grow minerals on your body," she said. "Show me." I hesitated. That ability was my secret, something I discovered by accident and kept hidden because it left me vulnerable afterward. But I trusted her this far. I focused on my forearm, channeling energy the way I'd taught myself. Slowly, crystalline formations grew from my skin, quartz first, then darker minerals, layered like armor. It was beautiful and strange, part of me but also not. "How do you feel?" Shiva asked. "Tired, it drains me." "Because you're creating matter from energy, your body's energy." She studied the crystals thoughtfully. "But what if you didn't have to create it? What if you could transform what's already there?" "I don't understand." She grabbed a chunk of iron ore from a sample shelf. Pure elementals can manipulate their element externally. Humans can't manipulate elements at all, but you're both. What if you could take material into yourself and become it? That's not possible, isn't it? You pass through rock by matching its properties temporarily. What if you could do that more completely? She held out the ore. Your parents never taught you because they didn't know. They couldn't imagine abilities beyond their pure bloodline limits. But the key knows. Try. I took the ore chunk. It was heavy, cold, solid. The mark on my palm flared bright when I touched it. Eat it, Shiva said. I looked at her like she was crazy. Eat iron ore. You're half-earth elemental. Your body processes minerals differently than humans. Trust me. Against all logic, I bit into the ore. It should have broken my teeth. Instead, it crumbled like bread in my mouth, and I tasted stone and metal and earth. I swallowed, and heat flooded through me. The mark blazed. Energy surged up my arm, through my chest, into every cell. I watched in amazement as my skin changed, gray shifting to iron dark, my flesh taking on metallic sheen and hardness. I knocked my knuckles against the wall and heard the ring of metal on stone. I'm iron, I whispered. You're amazing, Shiva said, and the awe in her voice made my transformed face feel warm despite being metal. Try moving. I walked, jumped, tested my range of motion. Everything worked normally despite my body's changed composition. I was heavier, stronger, more durable, and I didn't feel drained. If anything, I felt energized. How long does it last? I asked. Until you choose to change back, probably, or until you eat something else. Shiva was practically bouncing with excitement. Do you understand what this means? You're not limited to one element or form. You can adapt, transform, become whatever you need to be. That's not elemental magic or human technology. That's something entirely new. I looked at my iron hands, flexing fingers that felt strange and familiar at once. My whole life, I'd been told my mixed blood made me lesser, weak, wrong. But standing here, transformed into living metal, I felt more powerful than I'd ever imagined possible. The mark pulsed, and suddenly my vision shifted. I saw coordinates, a map sketched in light behind my eyes, a location deeper in the Badlands where something ancient waited. The temple, I said. I know where it is. The key is showing me. Shiva pulled up a holomap. Where? I pointed to a region marked as unexplored territory. There, maybe 50 kilometers north. That's the deep wastes. Nothing out there but... She stopped, eyes widening. Wait, there are ruins there. Old survey reports mentioned structures, but they were deemed too dangerous to investigate. Because they didn't have someone like me, I said, and was surprised by the confidence in my voice. Before Shiva could respond, alarms shrieked through the station. Red emergency lights flooded the corridors. Someone's here, Shiva said, already moving toward the security console. She pulled up external cameras. My iron heart sank. 3 transport ships had landed outside. Armed mercenaries poured out, led by a familiar figure in a white suit. Alex, how did he find us? I demanded. Probably tracked my transport signature. My family's ships are registered. Shiva cursed in a language I didn't know. There's at least 20 of them. We need to run. Where? They've got the only exit blocked. Then we go deeper. These stations always have emergency tunnels. She stopped, looking at something on the monitor. Wait, there's someone else. A smaller ship had appeared, coming in fast and low. It fired on Alex's transports, not to destroy but to disable. Precision shots that took out engines and weapons. The ship landed hard, and a single figure emerged, moving with practiced efficiency. Even through the grainy camera feed, I recognized that movement. Jamie, I breathed. She was taller than I remembered, harder, dressed in tactical gear with weapons I couldn't name. But it was definitely her. My childhood friend had come back. You know her? Shiva asked. She helped me survive when my family kicked me out. She's the reason I made it. I was already running for the exit, and she's outnumbered 20-1. Asmund, wait, you can't. But I was already through the corridor, my iron body moving faster than flesh ever could. I burst through the station's main door into chaos. Jamie had taken cover behind her ship, trading fire with mercenaries who'd spread out across the landing area. She moved like water, smooth and efficient, but there were too many angles to cover. One merc was flanking her position, raising his weapon. I didn't think, I just ran. The mercenary fired. The bolt hit my iron chest and ricocheted off harmlessly. His expression of shock was almost funny. Then my metal fist connected with his jaw and he dropped. Jamie spun, weapon trained on me, then froze. Rune, what the hell happened to you? Long story, you came back. Got word you were in trouble, couldn't let my friend face it alone. She fired past me, dropping another merc. Though I see you've made some upgrades. Shiva emerged from the station, her wings spread wide. Ice formed in her hands, spheres of freezing energy she launched at the mercenaries, forcing them back. We need to move. More ships are coming. She was right. I could feel vibrations through the ground, heavy vehicles approaching fast. Alex stood near his transport, watching with that smug expression, completely protected while others fought for him. The temple, I said to Jamie and Shiva. We head for the temple. It's what they really want, and it's where I need to go anyway. Jamie grinned, wild and fierce. Then let's move. My ship's fast and armed. We can outrun them. We ran for her transport, Shiva and Jamie providing covering fire while my iron body took hits meant for them. I felt invincible, powerful, finally able to protect instead of just survive. As we lifted off, I looked down at Alex. Even from here, I could see his frustration. He'd expected to find me weak, helpless, easy to take. Instead, he'd found someone who wouldn't break. Jamie piloted us north, toward the deep wastes and whatever secrets waited there. The mark on my palm burned bright, guiding us forward. So, Jamie said, glancing back at me, anyone want to explain why my mining friend is now made of metal and being hunted by rich elementals? Would you believe ancient mystical keys and cosmic destiny? I asked. She laughed. With you, yeah, actually, you always were weird, Rune. I let my iron form fade, returning to my normal gray-skinned self. The transformation felt natural now, like breathing. Beside me, Shiva watched with an expression I couldn't quite read, pride maybe, or hope. The Badlands stretched ahead, harsh and endless. Somewhere in that wasteland was a temple, and answers, and whatever purpose the key had seen in me. I was finally ready to find out what that was. The temple rose from the wasteland like a broken tooth, massive stone blocks carved with the same symbols that marked my palm. Jamie set her ship down as close as she could, but the last 100 meters we had to go on foot. This place is old, Shiva said, her wings folded tight against her back. Older than the colony, older than the current civilizations. I felt the pull stronger now, like invisible threads connecting my marked hand to the structure. Each step made the symbol burn brighter. When I touched the sealed entrance, the massive doors groaned and split open, dust cascading down in sheets. Inside was darkness that our lights barely penetrated. The walls were covered in murals, humans and elementals working together, building something beautiful. Not fighting, not separated, united. This is what they erased from history, Shiva whispered. proof that we were better together. The mark guided me deeper, through corridors that felt alive somehow, aware of our presence. Finally, we reached a circular chamber. In the center stood a pedestal, and floating above it was a holographic display that flickered to life as I approached. A figure appeared, an elderly woman with features both human and elemental like me. When she spoke, her voice echoed from everywhere at once. "If you see this, then a key has awakened. The bridge between worlds has begun to form again." She gestured, and the hologram expanded to show a map of the galaxy. 7 points glowed bright. 7 keys were created, scattered across 7 worlds. Each requires a bearer of mixed blood to activate. Only when all 7 are united can the ancient seal be opened. "Seal to what?" I asked, though I knew she couldn't hear me. The hologram shifted, showing a massive structure floating in space, beautiful and impossible, like a city made of light and stone merged together. "The Harmony Station," the woman continued. "Built by humans and elementals together, meant to be a place where both could thrive as equals. But fear poisoned that dream. War came. The station was sealed away, hidden in dimensional space, waiting for the day when those of mixed heritage would be strong enough, accepted enough to reclaim it." The hologram showed coordinates for each key location. Different planets, different systems. Some were in civilized space. Others were far beyond anything I'd seen on star charts. "This is bigger than one colony," Jamie said. "This is galaxy changing." "The keys will call to each other now," the hologram woman said. "Bearers will be drawn together. But beware, those who profit from division will seek to stop you. Trust in what you are. Trust in the bridge you represent." The hologram faded. The pedestal opened, revealing a data crystal, not like my key, but filled with detailed information. Navigation routes, historical records, technical specifications. I grabbed it, feeling knowledge flood into my mind through the mark. "I know where the other keys are," I said. "I know what we need to do." That's when the explosion started. The temple shook. Dust rained from the ceiling. Through the entrance corridor came the sound of weapons, fire, and shouting. "They followed us," Shiva said. "We need to go now." We ran back through the corridors, but mercenaries were already inside, cutting off our escape route. I saw Alex among them, still pristine in his white suit, flanked by guards. "Give me the crystal, Asmund," he called out. "My family can actually do something with this discovery. You're just a half-breed playing at importance." Something in me shifted. 3 years of his mockery, his contempt, his casual cruelty, all of it crystallized into cold clarity. "No," I said simply. I touched the temple wall. The stone responded to me like it had been waiting. I felt its composition, its structure, its age and strength. Then I did what Shiva taught me. I didn't just sense it, I became it. I bit down, tearing off a chunk of the ancient stone and swallowing it. Power flooded through me, different from the iron. This was older, denser, filled with centuries of endurance. My body shifted, becoming living temple stone, gray and orange veins running through me like the ancient carvings. The mercenaries opened fire. Their bolts hit me and dissipated harmlessly. I was too solid, too strong. I slammed my fist into the ground and felt the temple respond. Cracks spread from my impact point, and walls grew from the floor, separating Alex and his people from us. "Go," I shouted to Jamie and Shiva. "Get to the ship." They hesitated, but I was already moving, using my stone form to tear through the mercenaries' defensive line. I felt invincible, powerful, exactly what I needed to be. We burst from the temple into harsh sunlight. Jamie's ship was ahead, but more transports were landing, reinforcements. Too many to fight. "I've got an idea," Jamie said, already sprinting. "Get on board and hold tight." We made it to her ship just as energy bolts started flying again. I stood at the ramp, my stone body taking hits while Jamie fired up the engines. Shiva launched ice at the pursuing mercenaries, buying us seconds. The ship lifted off and I stumbled inside, finally releasing my stone form. Exhaustion hit me, but not as badly as before. I was getting stronger. Jamie pushed the engines hard, rocketing us up through the atmosphere. Behind us, pursuit ships followed. "Where are we going?" Shiva asked. "Off-world. There's a trading station in the next system, neutral territory. We can regroup there." Jamie's hands flew across the controls. "Then we figure out how to reach the other keys." My comm unit buzzed. I pulled it out, surprised it still worked after everything. A message from Keble appeared on screen. "Heard what happened. Alex's family is spreading lies, but some of us know better. When you're ready to come back, you've got a place here, and a partnership offer if you want it. Stay safe, kid." I felt warmth spread through my chest. Maybe I'd lost my blood family, but I was building something better. "We're clear of the gravity well," Jamie announced. "Jumping in 3, 2. Something hit us hard. The ship spun, alarms screaming. Through the viewport, I saw a massive vessel, military grade, with elemental family insignias. "They had a blockade waiting," Shiva said, her face pale. "My family's ship. They're not going to let us leave." Jamie fought the controls. "We're losing power. They hit the jump drive. I can maybe get us to emergency coordinates, but it'll be random." "Do it," I said. Another impact. The ship shuddered, pieces tearing away. Jamie slammed her hand down on the emergency jump, and reality twisted. The jump felt wrong. Too fast, too chaotic. Through the viewport, space bent in ways it shouldn't. We were tumbling through dimensions, uncontrolled. "Hull breach in the cargo bay," Jamie shouted. "Everyone get to." The ship tore apart. I felt myself pulled in 3 different directions. I saw Jamie grabbed by her ship's emergency systems, a protective pod forming around her. Shiva's wings spread, catching dimensional currents. And I was falling, spinning through the space between spaces, the mark on my palm burning like a star. I hit something. Atmosphere, gravity, solid existence. The impact should have killed me, but instinct took over. I swallowed air, earth, anything my body could grab, and transformed mid-fall into something hard enough to survive. I crashed into sand and didn't move for a long time. When I finally opened my eyes, unfamiliar stars looked down at me. 2 moons hung in the purple sky. The landscape was desert in every direction, broken only by strange rock formations that seemed to hum with energy. I was alone. No ship, no comm signal. The mark on my palm still glowed, but weaker now, as if exhausted. I pulled myself up, checking for injuries. Bruised, battered, but alive. The data crystal from the temple was still in my pocket. Somehow it had survived the crash with me. I had no idea where I was, no way to contact anyone, no resources beyond what I carried. But I was alive, and I had a purpose. I looked up at those alien stars and felt something I hadn't felt in 3 years, not since my family abandoned me. I felt hope. Somewhere out there were 6 other keys, 6 other people like me, probably just as confused and scared and convinced they were mistakes. They needed to know they weren't. That being mixed, being different, being a bridge between worlds, that wasn't weakness. That was exactly what the galaxy needed. I started walking. The nearest rock formation hummed louder as I approached, responding to the mark on my palm. Maybe this planet had resources. Maybe it had people. Maybe it had answers. My name was Ismund Rune. I was a half-breed, a miner, someone who'd been told his whole life he didn't matter. But I had found my purpose, and I was going to prove that the bridges between worlds were stronger than the walls that divided them, even if I had to do it one planet at a time. I touched the humming stone, felt its composition, and smiled. Time to see what I could really do.